Have you ever wondered how does the rank 1 player play Corki in a 2K LP lobby? Now, notably he's a little bit AFK, not really positioning for anything, but who knows, maybe he was busy with something. He does rotates, maybe W start for one. Nah, he gets picked up in anyways, Does seem like... Does seem like he doesn't even have to start with, you know, potentially, say W2 reveal a basic if he flashes through the wall or something. Okay, so far so good actually. Now what I really want to point out is that if anything, for now, he does have a good matchup in mid lane. I would say this is a fairly decent matchup where mainly he will scale, but there are opportunities to pressure. He does step up, weaves in a Q. He will not walk further more because Talia's Q, just as a perspective, is this long and it could space his basic attacks while she also connects all of her Qs. That's why he goes only for one Q, then backs off, because otherwise it will not be a free trade. Okay, let's move on from this play. Just a solid Q start. Nothing special. For now he's just fishing to last it as much as possible. These are his runes if anyone is curious. Generic Corki, fudge. Generic, you know, Corki runes basically that everyone utilizes. Arguably, like, this is like one of the better like items you can get, right? Because you get to pressure so much with Corki. He did make his E, so he's fishing for some, I would say, some opportunities to push for now and also trade with E. Okay, try to pressure a little bit with Q, but I think I should be fine, honestly. It doesn't cost super a lot of mana, right? And I think the good thing is that for now he maintains a CS lead. He does have a slight CS lead. He's mainly looking to pressure, right? So there, what he did, he was actually like punishing a last hit, right? So in here we can visually see basically Talia was fishing for a last hit into this minion, right? And so what happened is very simple. He did actually punish Talia because he knows that her Q is on cooldown, and so that's what like she is actually doing, because she doesn't have Q to space his Q and basic. So she has to like basic this minion to last hit, but for that Corki will trade back with a Q and the basic attack. So every time your laner doesn't have like a key ability up to trade and also they have to last hit, then you can trade in for free. So it's a really good advice that you can use in any elo, any rank. This is not specific to challenger, you know. So you can get like a lots of like educational value if you compare yourself in a healthy way, in the sense that, oh, I guess this was a slight misplay. He got a bit punished for greeding for 2 points into Q instead of W. Wow, I think that was a bit unexpected for him. Alright, mistakes happen. So as you can see, like, even if you're the best player in the world, you may still gonna do mistakes. So don't be too hard on yourself. Now, the TP animation is not shown, but they are TPing both. Now, usually it's a bit better to TP faster than your opponent, if you ever get to. Because you may get a QE trade in. I don't know if he had the opportunity though, so did he have the opportunity to TP slightly earlier? Let us see. I don't think so, right? So Natalia TP'd even so a bit earlier. So there were no like real opportunities to fish for something better. It's really nice sometimes to look through your replays and observe if you could then go for a faster TP play so you get to trade into them first. So far we don't have W for this gang, which does suck a bit. Phase rush is out, she bats upwards too. Does look like it was quite the play, but for now he doesn't have the best wave clear because no W. So it's like a bit of a risky move. You're gonna trade a bit better, but you can't play this far up, as you guys can see. So if you don't have your W, you cannot get out of her W, right? So it's a bit harder to poke in front of the enemy tower. So that's stolen, and I think they are fishing for more. So because he has priority, This could get a bit ugly because he's a bit... I don't know, this was a bit of a weird situation. So he was collapsing, but he wasn't, or... No, because he... Oh no, he walked... I think... Yeah, because his thought process was that Hecarim gonna drop it, but he bluffed it that he dropped it, and he walked back when he noticed Hecarim is not dropping that too. I mean, that would be a little bit too much to drop, right? But I would assume he regardless needs help, right? That's fine, that should be fine. What are people pinging in the chat? Let's see. Hecarim out there flaming even in the highest possible ranks. Which is a bit weird because like people are risking somewhat their careers as well. Because if you ever get banned, you know, for perma pinging people, flaming and whatnot, I mean you're risking 1,000+ LP icon, and at this point that also like got some degree of career choices as well, right? So at least around these ranks I would be a bit more careful, honestly. Not to say we're not gonna get all pissed off now and then, but... So what do we do now? Oof, rock hits. So... It doesn't even look particularly too bad, so... He gets to actually like shove yet again. Solid 2Q shove, I would assume, yep. And I think he's looking for like a really good opportunity to either recall? Okay, that was a bit unexpected for me, but it can happen, I suppose. So he does actually look for a recall on 1000 gold. He will get actually like a phage. This phage is really good as well, because he does reach the 5 stack point of Jack of all trades, so you get 5 cooldown and 10 adaptive force, respectively. So that's really good right now. We have 5 different stats from items. But currently, I really want to point out that Talia's roaming opportunities, he does actually ping one time missing. Perhaps he pings again to see if they don't overstep. You know, it's kind of weird that they're somewhat even with CS with Rek'Sai. Like, I don't... Actually, in particular, I don't know how does, like, Ekasadin have so much CS compared to Rek'Sai, but I suppose the guy doesn't have the best like room to pressure. It caught me really a bit off guard how even they are with CS, but he gets picked up again. You see, like this is how we can W out of our W. This Talia goes for some aggressive Ws now and then. It does look like he's fishing for a shove. Then what do we do? Invade again Hecarim. Options, right? So like he wants to invade again like wolves, but that's low value. And it's not really... He popped his potion. Does all in. Flashes. Oh, I knew it. That's a very bold aggressive move. So in here, by the way, very important, if you're level 6 and you're about to all in, you have this really strong potion that gives you 20 adaptive force. That's just really a lot, you know. Like once you pop that potion, your all-in is so much stronger. You get 12 AD, by the way, from that. And he even Ws in aggressively, so she touches her because Corki's W has actually a very high AD scaling, 200%. So you get a lot of value out of that potion actually. Even his E has a high AD scaling. Even his R has a high AD scaling. So you would assume this potion is very high value. Conqueror as well, insane, on a champion with so high AD ratios. So it's highly recommended if you're not forced to go biscuits in a matchup, go for this, because most, like, again, all of these are really good. The first potion is a bit basic, you know, it just gives you like a bit faster wave clear, which sometimes it's fine, it's needed, you know, sometimes 40 gold, basically 2 minions, right? The second one is really good for duels. It's more of a one-time duel, then it sort of expires by the time you recall and go back, you know. So sometimes it's useful for more kills if there is a Drake fight, usually one, but that should justify to use it. And as you can visually see, the level 9 one is also like a pretty good... Oh, nah, but this all is just nasty. So the Hecarim's gang got a bit disrespected and very aggressive move by the way from Corki's part, but the level 9 one gives like an extra skill point on non-R though, only on base abilities. really interesting because I think he still wanted to take advantage of Elixir of Force. Maybe that's why he forced. Because in particular, like, she gave up her Q and all of her abilities to wave clear, and that's why, like, he takes this, like, more so bold, aggressive move, because she can't insta-proc phase rush, which would be fine if Hecarim is not there, but I think he was not really paying attention, right? He was a bit tunnel visioning, but the all-in would be good if Hecarim is not here. I would possibly even give a kill if you checked out his damage, so this guy really knows his limits. But I would say sometimes it's a little too aggressive. I would say like it's fine as long as you're pushing your limits. If you're a little too aggressive and you're learning new things. But if you're like, let's say like too aggressive and you already know like this is way too risky, then that's like a different situation. So Kiana got some nice jungle buffs. So her Q, as I remember, does 175 damage to jungle monsters, so that's like really good, honestly. She did get some buffs here and there. She's definitely more viable in the jungle. So it does look like Hecarim is fishing for a regank, maybe? What is he fishing for? Maybe a dive, I would say, right? An organized dive. So he will go into this bush, I would assume, Kassadin, and that's where he will... Does look like... He's a lit... Oh, he's actually fishing for Talia. Smart. I think he didn't W in time, honestly. I think in there, if he W'd, I think he would get the kill. Let's rewatch it again. Let's see if there was like a slight misplay. So, it was really smart, right? Because he knew Alice will cover, I think. So he rather didn't step up because he knows that potentially he escapes. Or Talia Orzin. So I think he wanted to cut her off, actually. So I have, didn't put the point in her audience, right? Yeah, I think he could ban W a bit earlier. Maybe that would cut the cause, I would say, but... He does W, but a little bit... Yeah, it's a bit late. Maybe he would pick up the kill, actually. If he hits his rocket, one basic, right? Then it... yeah. Maybe one more, huh? So it's like a slight misplay again, but... Didn't actually like throwing his rocket. I was a bit afraid that Talia gonna perhaps, sidestep it. So he wants to go for a very consistent one. She's a bit sandwiched in between the tower and she dies. Oh, nice dodges, but... Nice tanking, so Rexy doesn't dice either, so he took one more actually for Rexy. And Corki's wave clear in general is very strong. Basically you just throw in a Q, basic each if needed. Maybe he's wishing for one more plate if needed. If we get something very important, then some people do, but it does look like Hecarim does collapse. His R is up and there is a TP from Rek'Sai. Does it be? Oh, no way. That's really kind of smart from his part that, no, it looks like there is nothing. But yeah, this is like an interesting pick, Rek'Sai on top lane. I've seen some people going Titanic and, so it does actually, it's unique, I would say, like in some way. Like, it does some damage, he regens, he sustains up. He's not the best scaler, but he does have like a bit of a unpredictable way of like... How can I say, like people are not really used to the matchup and he has his tunnels all over, he could sort of gank people if he gets a proxy with Tiamat, if they go for it, right, they go for it for Titanic. Then you can also look for like easy invades, I would suppose so. He's a bit of a scary fella in a good matchup, I would say. Can pressure the map as well, then use his tunnels to rotate back top again, right? So it's occur, but I think he's waiting a little bit for his... No, so he didn't rush Trinity Force, he went Marks actually, because they have a lots of AP and CC damage, so that's in particularly very good for these type of fights, but I would say I would rather like to have, honestly, that after Trinity Force, because Trinity is very good on Corki due to your R, giving you multiple Trinity procs, and notably your passive, Corki's attacks and spell blades deal 20% bonus through damage, so this also scales specifically with spell blades as well, not only say per moment the uh, crits, right? Does look like there is like a good opportunity to. Alright. Could he kill Kasadin? Doesn't look like it's the best. I think he's just deafing, right? Mainly he's putting emphasis on deafing. Kasadin can't quite kill him because he's still sort of like low on damage and has even like retort food, so interesting fight. But Kasadin still loses this because he has no TPS actually. He's fishing for a plate. Does he get it? He did get it. A kill. No mana for ore. So no mana for ore, but he needs a bit more than just an ore. So his ore does a lot currently, but at 11 like Corki really spikes, so level 11 Trinity Force is the point where in mid game you deal a shit ton of damage. Does seem a bit excessive though. Maybe it needs a bit more money for oh yeah, I think he already got it, he already got his nothing significant in the chat. So because like the area is clear, there is no one to collapse on him, most of the people are visually shown on the map. Well, that's what I see from Alice, but does look like there aren't really any kill opportunities. Let's TP top lane and some nice plays here and there, right? Now he did get his Trinity Force spike, which is very strong. We can see like this does definitely like synergize super well with Trinity, but I would really point out level 11 is a big level because Corki, as we can visually see, he gets 80 damage and he has multiple rockets in his pocket, right? So that's actually like a significant damage boost. And the big one, now the big one especially does that. So the big one has a very very high AD ratio. It's called the third rocket, or I think it's called the big one if I'm correct, no? Yeah, the big one. I was pretty much sure that's how it's called, but wanted to check it a bit again because it has a bit of a random name, like the big one. Okay. And as I said, like we reached the level 11 point, and this point on does seem like he's chatting something. I don't know what exactly. Or he's fishing for the next wave, but he wants to be off vision at the same time because he wants to wipe it and go. I think he thinks that he's getting collapsed on, so he walked in a safer distance. But getting his mana immune. I'm not sure that if he will go more so towards a some people go bruisery Corki, some people go just crit to scale up your DPS. We'll see what kind of iteration is this. You gotta close the windows, it's very cold out here. Alright, did I miss out on anything cool? So he pulls a B, tip forward a little bit, so we are soon finishing mana immune. Boots are also like empowered by the feat of strength. It does look like Hecarim is just it's like low key running it. One big rocket. That's it. Now you can execute, bunny. Now you can execute. And fun fact, if Corki crits, he throws a spatula at people. That's how this skin works. So its crit animation is different from the usual one. Some skins have different crit animations. This one has the most interesting one with the spatula. A bit of an early, I would say, because it doesn't really like provides a lot, but damage numbers are very high, by the way, everywhere we look at. Very, very high. So what do we do here? It doesn't get caught actually. But I think he's fishing to turn. Yep. Cocoon almost hits. I think he's just out actually at this point, no? By the light, yep. Even got the assist. But I think he could turn this if he outplays a little bit, no? Maybe? Oh. I did space actually super well there. Definitely well played on Corki's part. I think I'm falling sick here, huh? Well, I guess I should hit you guys with, despite, I'm sick, I'm still like willing to clip and just get out here for you guys, so make sure to like and sub. It's not really collectible. It does go for some bold plays, I ain't gonna lie, but I still respect them though. I still respect him, because I would assume some of these plays, I don't know if he's a content creator, just based on the name, I don't specifically know him, but some plays that you see in higher ranks, many people just make content out of their gameplay, because red games, I mean, you could go pro theoretically, or that's it actually, because the game doesn't even like provides like coaching services, paid coaching services, in the client, so there aren't really like a lots of like ways to thrive, right? Like before you got jackets, these days nothing, like I don't know. It's like the incentive is like worse, and I don't know. I think the reasons were also kind of shitty why they removed like challenger jackets. Like they were just jackets, I don't know if it was out of leather or what kind of material. People said that people will boost too much for jackets or whatever, but let's be real, there can be only 200 people in challenger. Like maybe like maybe some of them would be boosted or whatever, I don't care, but every year for every server you give out 200 jackets as a billionaire company. Like how, like you feel me, like how could that be like you feel me, like that, like even if people are boosting win trading whatever, it's still just like a jacket, and it's still just, it's questionable to like fucking, like I don't know. I think it's just a weirdo thing to do. Even Algorithm just said the incentive is weaker for people to reach Challenger. I mean, like every time I hit like around Grandmaster or Grandmaster, I barely have even the incentive, Even when I'm like higher on LP to reach Challenger, I don't know. It's already kind of like a mental torment game now and then, right? And then it's just like, it's just a bit difficult to like sometimes deal with certain things. So for now, Corki does, I usually just like smack the fuck out of this guy. He goes for a very late collector. That looks a bit bad, but it's really good to content farm, so I think that's the idea behind collector, because of the effect the item gives. So maybe I would assume that's the idea. Like in particular, it's very late for collector, so Lord Dominic's is just better now. But I think the idea is to content farm, so maybe that's I would say like very likely that's like his thought process. Let's get the blue buff at least. And from this point on, what happens, there is gonna be like one more team fight a bit later. So one more team fight a bit later. He does actually like... Oh fuck, I sped things a bit up way too much, but... Though it does look like that this game is just kind of over at this point, right? He gets to even diving completely as Corki, and I don't suppose there is a... So it doesn't look like there is like a way for... Slowly, and there's like one more good team fight, right? So slowly this is over. It's a fake tower, it's not really just bugged on the replay. This is also a fake one. This is a real one though, because it has HP bar. And it looks like it's over. GG, well played.